What's up, everybody? I just want to show you guys how I removed the carpets for my Yukon. The Yukon is a big vehicle, and I was able to save over $700 by doing this myself. So this is the back half of the carpet, and that's the front half. So the Yukon has two carpets. That's how big this vehicle is. And I'm going to show you guys this, so if you want to do it yourself, you can save about $700. As you can see, the carpets were in disgusting shape. They're about 14 years old. This is the back carpet right here. And if you are buying material, two 6x8 pieces will work. One for the front, one for the back. So I'm going to show you guys what I did in the vehicle. I'm not going to tell you I'm a professional carpet installer, but crap, it's not. It's a $7,000 car. It's not worth spending $1,500 or $800 paying somebody else to do it. So let's get in there. As you can see, these are the old carpets. You got two pieces. You're gonna buy a roll of material that's 6x8. You'll need two of them, and I actually bought three in case I cut something wrong. And luckily, I'll be returning the third piece. So you're gonna lay down the new material underneath this, and you're just gonna, with a Sharpie, just sketch all this stuff. So you'll put your new material underneath it, and you're just gonna, with a Sharpie, mark where you're gonna cut. Now when you cut on the outside perimeter, just give it an extra inch all the way around, so that you're able to just have wiggle room, because your new material is perfectly flat, but the factory material is kind of molded. So I paid $40 for the materials. If I had ordered it, it'd have been $600 and then like $400, $300 to install it. So literally I saved myself about $700 or something. Now I will give you some advice. This is the back piece. So this is the back of the vehicle. The tailgate is back here. This is the third row, and this is half of the front middle seats. So this is kind of like the middle of the vehicle. I will give you advice. When you get to this side right here for the back wheel welds, I recommend that you give it at least 6 inches extra here. So all the way around the perimeter, I recommend that you leave an extra inch. But when you get to here, leave 6 inches extra, because even the factory carpet has some type of little cuts. You can see here the factory carpet has these cuts right here, where from the factory they had to mold it. So let's get into the Yukon, and I'll show you guys what I did real quick. This is what it came out looking like, and I know it's not perfect, but that's what we did. That right there. I'll show you guys. So when you get in here, let me just show you guys what it looks like before I even get started. Is it a perfect job? No, and I haven't put this back seats in, and I'm not going to, because what we do is we fit a queen size mattress back here. So when we travel for our YouTube channel, we have a king size mattress in the back, and it saves us money on a hotel room. Now we're not going to do that every single day while we're on the road. That's ridiculous. But if every once in a while we can save a night hotel, we're in a very desolate area, we can sleep in the car or take a 2 or 3 hour break, we can do that. So there's no back seats or third row in this vehicle. They're taken out, just the front seats for me and Katie. This didn't come out perfect. You can see the line right there where I joined the materials. It didn't have to be. This car, again, it's not worth, this isn't a Ferrari. So I'll show you guys what I got going on here. Now, if I could go back and do it again, what I would have done is on here, these bolts, the cutout is like that big for these. I would just mark them, like, you know, install your carpet. And these holes here, see here how I did it? Like that's like, you can see the marking there for the hole. It's actually bigger. So the factory cutouts are huge. I would do it like this. I would just make a line like that and just use these bolts. I mean, literally, like with the scissors, I just literally puncture the hole and stuff that through there. So for the seat holes, these right here, I don't recommend you do that huge like 6-inch cutout like factory comes like that. I recommend you just with a knife just slice them. So do your outside mold, do the big holes for stuff like that. But when it comes to these bolts that pop up, especially for the seats in the front, I recommend that you do it like that, where you don't do these 6-inch cutouts. Just, you know, don't even cut them out. You can mark them and just puncture a hole and stuff the bolt right through it, and that way it's a lot tighter. So you can see that where we join right here. The first thing you want to do is take your seats out and the center console. The center console is not complicated at all. There's 2 wires like this that go to the front of the front seats, and you can see right there there's a wiring harness, And the wiring harness has like this white thing. You have to like kind of like pop that up for both of the front seats. There's a lot of electrical stuff here, but again, there's just two harnesses, one small like that and another big giant one for this. To take the center console out, the only thing you have to do is take out the front seats, and the front seats, it's hold down the center console. It's just like in a Chevy truck, let's say. So the GMC used that same mechanism. So if you take out the front seats, that will come out easily. There's a few screws here and there, but it's nothing complicated. The first thing you want to do is take all the seats out of the vehicle. And you'll notice that there's two chunks of carpet. One ends right about here, and the other one is, so this is like the brake line right here for the carpets. Now, in my case, I ran it a little bit further because when I cut the front, I only left 1 inch on the outsides, and the front carpet on here started to pop off. It wouldn't go underneath it. Luckily, I extended the back one about 1 foot, and by extending it 1 foot, I was able to accomplish two things. First, I was able to overlap the bottom carpet so that nothing's coming out, the carpet's not popping out of there. And also on the bottom one, you can see I did these 6-inch cutouts, and I mean, this isn't perfect, but it gets the job done. But you'll see that on the top one I was able to do this, which is really saving me from these giant holes that were there before. Of course, when you put these seats in here, you won't be able to see any of that. When you do this little drop right here, I recommend that you leave about 6 inches extra. And it didn't come out perfect. I think that side came out better. This side has a little bit of a bulge here. You do have to take out all these bolts. And there's also a lot of bolts in the front. And I definitely recommend that you take your time when you do this. And like here, take this off. And there's a metal piece there. Take all that off carefully. And make sure you take your time to take off every single bolt. As you can see here, it's not like perfect. This material is cheaper. It's gonna like pop out a little bit, but hey, I'm not trying to spend thousands of dollars on a car that's not worth it. So overall, I would say if you're doing this job, my biggest advice, and I got this material at Rural King. The rolls were like 6x8 rolls, and these rolls were something like $22 a piece. So if literally like less than $50 of materials, I did this. Now this is a polyurethane, and I don't know how long this carpet is gonna last. But definitely my advice would be, take all these bolts, like the seat belts. You don't have to take the top off. You can just take this off right here. You'll need like 3 different tools to do this. Like you'll need a scissor, you'll need a Sharpie, and you'll need whatever wrench size this is to take the seats off. There's 2 for the front, and the back seats are different and the front seats are different. This stuff, these plastic pieces, they're actually glued on, so if you're very careful not to break them, you should be able to, with a knife or by hand, rip these pieces off of the old carpet. It's actually pretty simple. I mean, this is actually not that complicated. I'm a complete idiot, and I'm not very mechanical, and I was able to do it. I'm more of a computer guy, not a mechanical guy. So if I was able to do it, did this come out perfect like it would at a professional shop? It absolutely didn't. But I mean, if you're looking to save yourself some money, then definitely. If I were going to do it again, I guess my first mistake was trying to rip out the old carpet. And you'll see when I ripped out the old carpet, I broke some of the corners there, and I broke the front because I didn't want to take out. I thought I was being lazy and ripping out the old carpet and in the front. So this is the front, the absolute front, like your gas pedals over here. This is the passenger side. That you're looking at the front of the vehicle here. And here, what I would recommend you do is, see how I ripped the carpet? Don't do that. Just take it out carefully. Take out all the bolts. Take out all the plastic pieces. Take out all the metal hinges. Everything you need to take off in the front, take it off, so that these carpets come out as one single piece. Because all these rips and tears that you do now, you're going to have to improvise later on when you go to install the new one. So if you're able to take these 2 big chunks of carpet out, give me a minute, baby. You want to go and get something to eat?
I just wanted to go to the house.
All right, cool. Grab a water and grab your wallet, and let's go get something to eat. So what I would definitely recommend when you do this, guys, is make sure that you don't rip stuff out. Like I see how I ripped there. Don't do that. Try to take the old carpet out complete. These are the holes that I'm telling you. So this is the front. This is the driver. This is the front passenger. See these holes here? They don't have to be that big. This is how it is factory. You can actually just leave wherever the bolt is, like make a cross or an X, and just slide the bolt through there. I would do that differently. Also, For some reason, the factory one, there's this cutout here. I also don't think you need that cutout. You only need the cutout for the AC vent. So you can actually leave this hole and just make a slice there. So you can stick the air conditioning, it's like a vent that's there out. So you don't have to do this whole square cutout here. You can actually just leave the cutout on that end so that the air can get out. So you don't need that whole cutout. And again, these bolts, see how they're big circles? You don't need these giant circles. I mean, literally, like a little X would have done it or something, or just like the size of your finger, just so you can slide the bolt through the middle. And that way your whole carpet's completely sealed. The same thing goes for the back seats. You don't need these giant bolts. These are important though right here, so make sure that these, you have them. But these don't need to be all that big. They can just be like tiny little holes. And on the front, you got these bigger ones. And if you're able to, what I would do, if I were doing this again, I would almost just do the cutout first. And then I would, do these by hand on the car, because I feel like there's more openings than you need on these carpets. And on the back, again, make sure you leave the extra. And these carpets are actually pretty heavy. And then once I installed, I think the biggest difference is, I don't know what the durability of that material is going to be, but I do know that I already see a problem with the sound absorption of this. Is a much better material for sound and temperature absorbing, and that's really important. So that's the benefit of going for better material versus me just picking up the cheapest material you could find. Also, this material is a lot thicker, so if you use a thinner carpet like I did, the thinner the carpet is, the more extra space you want to leave on the outside. So it's pretty simple. Once you get your carpets out, it's pretty much idiot proof. And again, all these giant bolts, you don't need these giant cutouts. You just need probably just to do the outside perimeter, and then just make little crosses, stick the bolts through, you're good. So there it is for the most part. Let me show you guys how it came out on this side. Did it come out perfect? Again, it didn't really come out perfect all the way through. I did buy these GMC floor mats. I figured I saved money doing the carpet job. Around here, there's a cutout in the center, so the whole center counts. So also, if you need to, I sliced, this is just a cutout in the center, you can see it over there. I actually sliced it on the front like that, so I actually opened it up so that I could have more wiggle room on both sides, because there is like a hump in the middle, and that takes up a lot of extra material. So it's important that on the front corners, around this front edge, you leave extra material, and around the real welds. So I say an inch, you need an inch on the sides, or maybe even 2 inches on the side, and you can always easily trim it up later. So the more extra material you have on the sides, the better. That's how you do that. And it didn't come out perfect. I can see there's a little bit of a, a little whatever here, but it does it. And it's like I said, it's not really like this is a Ferrari. So you can see here, this is the way you want to do your cutouts. You don't need those giant cutouts. Like, that'll do it, definitely. And there it is. There's not much really to look at back there. I'll show you the bolts that you have to take out over here. It's not really like the end of the world. It's actually pretty simple. This piece comes right off, and these bolts here are like that type, and it's actually the same one for the seat belt. So that holds that down. And there's a matting underneath the carpet that's like a white looking type of matting. Make sure you leave that. These, you can just buy some glue later or adhesive and just glue them back on. Now, they clipped on all right. Like, they're not going anywhere. Look, they'll clip into the metal pieces. And also, like, for some reason, you'll see that those cutouts were bigger. You only need to cut out for the area. So make sure you look carefully at what areas you actually need to cut out, because I feel like the cutouts that were factory were bigger than you needed. You only needed like tiny little, like 6 little tiny cutouts, but for some reason on the carpet it cuts out a whole lot bigger. So, and then you have these things here which I barely cut out. Like I said, you could just do it like that. This is for the third row seat, which I don't have. So there it is. Simply, you can really do this yourself. It's gonna come out perfect. I think the only area where I really messed up is over here, where I left about 6 inches, but this drop absorbed a lot of it. So you can see that right there. You can see the underneath right there kind of wasn't perfect, and this kind of pulled it down. But it's not perfect. But again, I'm saving a lot of money, and this isn't a Ferrari. It's an old Yukon. So if you want to do it yourself, you can definitely do it, and I'll give you guys an update in the future on how long this material lasts. The problem with the carpet that was in here is how bad it smelled, and that the fibers, the factory fibers, were starting to disintegrate, and that was giving me asthma and respiratory issues. So I couldn't even be in the car too long because it was making me feel agitated. And now that it's gone, I don't feel it anymore. So there it is. That's how you replace the carpet on a Yukon. I did it myself. I'm not an expert. Me and my dad just got in here and we did it in 4 or 5 hours. So it's definitely not that complicated, and you can definitely do it yourself. Check it out. Hope you guys like the video, and hopefully this video is helpful and can save you guys some money. Headlights are coming soon. You guys saw the truck. We just put these are 12 by 22. 12s by 22, so they're pretty big. I went with the spikes on these, so you know, whenever you put wheels this big on a truck, it's never going to ride the same. So it's loud, it bounces, but this truck really, it should really be something for the weekend. It shouldn't be a daily driver. Like the Yukon is a much cheaper car. I'd rather put miles and traveling on that Yukon and not put all the miles on this car. So I'm actually okay with this riding a lot heavier now, because this truck should just be for the weekends and stuff. It really isn't something I should be taking on the road. So there it is. Finally, the nasty stinky carpet that was giving me asthma and making me sneeze and stuff is gone, and a new fresh carpet is in there. And the Yukon isn't perfect. Like, you know, it needs paint. That's a factory weak spot right there. And well, there it is. Just trying to get these cars in order. This month, guys, we're not going to be doing as many videos, possibly. I might hit the road regardless, but our vehicles need attention. Like, and I saved money by doing this. But, you know, the Yukon needs to be our travel vehicle again. Now, with the back seats out, I can just throw a king-size mattress back there, foam, because if it's got a spring, it won't fit, but a foam full-size mattress fits back there. Me and Katie can sleep in the Yukon. It's much more gas efficient. So the truck is really just something that sits here for the weekends. And, you know, we shouldn't be traveling in the truck regardless. So there it is. The truck's going to sit for a while. And the Yukon is going to be our travel vehicle. There's no the gas mileage on this thing is like 12 or 13. Gas mileage on this can be close to 17. So you know, I don't care about the paint being scratched. I don't care about the headlights being faded. But this carpet was inside and I was breathing it in. I guess the fibers were falling apart and it was really making me sick. So there it is. If you have a Yukon or a vehicle and the carpets really suck, you can just take the seats out, do it yourself. It's not that complicated. You don't have to pay thousands of dollars. If an idiot like me did it, then you should be able to do it. And the materials you're going to need are simple: a pair of scissors, a Sharpie, whatever bolt pattern you need for your seats to be taken out. Usually, if they're GMC, it's going to be like these triangle-shaped type of things. I'll show you guys real quick. You get a screwdriver, you pop these things up. But if it's a GMC, it's going to be like these right here. Okay, so there's these in the front. The GMC is different for some reason. Like, that's a piece of metal rebar on the highway hit that. So it's not like, this is like a Ferrari, but it's simple. You take your 4 bolts out. You can see it here. The back seats are these types on the GMC, but the front are different. You can definitely do this yourself, and I would definitely recommend, if you have a car that the carpets suck, give it a try and do it yourself. You'll need about $20 in tools. I mean, couldn't it get simpler? An idiot like me can do it. Anybody can do it. And there it is. Now we have the Yukon ready to hit the road. Check it out.